Hi, I'm Georgemma Hunt. I'm a PhD researcher at the Sustainability Research Institute at University of East London. Today we're harvesting a small area of a common bulrush harvest, and we're just taking a third of one of the polders here at the Great Fen. We've had two wonderful people going through with a brush cutter and cutting just above the ground height, and then we're going in behind and bundling up by hand and then tying them together. And we're trying to get enough of that harvest for me to use as part of my research over this next year until we have another harvest to take from. So we've been weighing the bundles that we've been making today because we're trying to get approximately 150 kilos of dry Typha to be able to make samples across the next year. But because the wet plant, as we're cutting it today, it's green, so it still has moisture in it, it hasn't started to die back. There's a certain amount of the wet weight that we need to add on. So we're looking at trying to get about 250 kilos of wet Typha to try and account for the loss of moisture and therefore the loss of weight to get us to 150 dry Typha. But today it's looking like we might actually come out with a bit less than that, because quite interestingly some of the plants have come out a lot shorter. So we're just working with what we've got, and we'll see how far that gets us within the sampling. So we're looking at quite a different yield to what we had here last year, but there could be a number of environmental or water factors that come into that. It's all up for, I guess, hypothesis at this stage. So within my research I'm looking into possible uses for Typha as a building material. So we're going to be taking this plant into the lab and drying it and then processing it down into smaller parts, and then looking at bringing it together with various different binders or adhesives with a preference for mineral and organic adhesives, and then we'll be exploring what kind of use it could have within a building material across a whole suite of lab tests that will show us where it performs best and whether it could be an insulation or a board or a block. These are all the questions in the air at the moment that hopefully we'll be edging closer towards in the next year.